on now. Hey, you know how we rocking out down in the peg, man? We banjoing this motherfucker up. Let's go.
Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. And the Bombers, for the 5th straight year, have won the Banjo Bowl, and this year take the season series against Saskatchewan, which doesn't really matter considering Saskatchewan has a tie in one of their games. They have an odd number of points. However, it's more of a bragging rights sort of a thing, and goes 2-0 in getting the Labor Day and Banjo Bowl. I was hoping for at least one of the two. The only thing I didn't want is just to lose out. To win out, though, wow, awesome. And Saskatchewan just keeps staying in that, well, I'm not going to say losing column because they get a tie in there, but the winless column, as they now have gone 7, I think, in a row. I'd have to check the Bombers Instagram because I know they mentioned it. There's so much in this game to talk about, like tons. And so I'm pretty sure, so we'll start with the pregame at least. Big Hill is out, so Shane Gauthier takes that spot. Caleros is back, and I was hoping for revenge Caleros, where he would just go on a complete tear. We were able to win this game. Wasn't that tear that I was hoping for. It is what it is. Pat Neufeld is back. He was on for a bit, and then he gets kind of hurt in this game, and then is off for a while, but then kind of comes back. Drew Wolotarski does something similar. And then for the Riders, Godber and Fry are both still out on the offensive line. So both teams dealing with some problems on the offensive line. Obviously, Stanley Bryant still being out for Winnipeg. We win the coin toss. And one other thing I just want to note. So Wade Miller, he would, president of the Bombers, was kind of going around shaking people's hands, just kind of welcoming everyone to the game, came up to our family, welcomed us to the game. And I just want to say how much I appreciate stuff like that. I think that really, really shows good character. I've been very, very happy with Wade Miller and his work with the Bombers and being able to really keep this Bombers team thriving and keep the organization thriving, being able to keep having butts in those seats with sellout after sellout. Even in a game against like the Ticats, for example, where Ticats, it's not like we really have done anything that impressive this year. And Winnipeg, it's not a crazy typical rivalry. I know everyone will kind of look back at those Grey Cup ones, but it's not like a Winnipeg Saskatchewan game or a Winnipeg Calgary game or a Winnipeg BC game where those crowds will really, really draw. So is happy just with all his work. So just very nice that he's doing that. Bombers win the coin toss, and let's get right into the first corner where Saskatchewan pushes a little bit, but then they're forced to punt. But on that punt, Willie Jefferson with the block.
Yeah! Got the ball! No way! There we go! Wow! There we go!
Willie Jefferson gets the block on the punt. This special teams just keeps going. Very, very pleased with the special teams tonight. I do think a little bit later on some of those kickoffs, I think try to get that ball a little bit wider as Mario Alfred's really trying to pull that across. So just not allowing him to get inside and give him all that space to run and force him to the sidelines. But it is what it is. But overall, great block punt there. And then at this point, Jake Thomas getting a little bit of praise, honored with his 200th, I believe it's 200 career games total, I want to say. So congratulations to Jake Thomas on that. A wonderful achievement for him. Jake Thomas is one of my favorite guys in this Bombers. He is just there. He is consistent with this D-line and really feels like kind of part of the soul of this team. I think it was even Patty Neufeld who said that today, that Jake Thomas is kind of really being a part of that. And, maybe sometimes the fans, maybe slightly overlook him, but he's an incredible guy on our defensive line and will always be a key piece with these Bombers. Caleros getting a little bit of offense there, but unfortunately sacked in the first play. Not really able to get much. Bombers push a little bit, but then Castillo then hits the 46-yard field goal, making it 3-0 Bombers. Saskatchewan gets back on the field for their offense, but that is stopped right away as Terrell Ford with his 9th pick of the season. Terrell Ford gets it done, turns that ball around right away. It was one of my big problems with last game where we get the win. One big problem, no picks. Come on, guys. Like, I know this defense, we can get some picks. So was happy to see Terrell Ford get one nice and early on. Winnipeg then starts pushing. They keep pushing. Saskatchewan takes an objectionable conduct penalty. Ball on the 5-yard line. Bombers keep pushing, and Chris Streveler drives it into the end zone. Touchdown, Winnipeg. Conversion is good. 10-0 Bombers. And at this point, I'm thinking, is it going to be that Banjo blowout Volume 4? We've had Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3. 3 years. I was hoping for Volume 4. Wouldn't quite get that this game, but overall, still, the win was a win. Saskatchewan then starts going, and they start to push back a little bit. There would be a massive pass for Samuel Emelis, and that really drives the ball down, and Saskatchewan would continue and grab themselves a touchdown.
Get to him! Damn it! Damn it!
Riders with the touchdown. Conversion is good. 10-7 for the Bombers. Then at the end, wrapping up this first quarter, second quarter comes in, and this is when we get back into that dual-use offense for Brady Oliveira, where he's getting that ball in the flats. He's getting just those really short routes, dropping that to him and allowing him to just punch it forward and, play a little bit like a receiver. And then the second that ball's in his hands and he's got both hands on it, he plays like a running back once again and really gets that pushing downfield. Just getting as much usage out of a guy with the talents of Brady Oliveira is definitely something you want to do, as odds are the more time the ball is in his hands, the more time we're going to be effective. Bombers push it down a little bit more. Castillo hits a 26-yard field goal, making this 13-7 for the Bombers. Saskatchewan then starts to push it back a little bit. They're able to get just into field goal range as Brett Lothar hits him a 50-yard field goal, making this 13-10 for the Bombers. Bombers get going, takes a procedure penalty, and Winnipeg forced a punt here. However, great downfield coverage. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Tony Jones. I can't remember. As he breaks around a block, and Mario Alford basically takes one step, goes to pull that other leg back, and gets the hand on it and hauls him down right there, dead in his tracks. Exactly what I want our special teams. I cannot state how fantastic these Bomber special teams are, and that this is making a huge difference, because this Winnipeg defense is very, very capable. But they've kind of, I'm not going to say they've struggled these past few games, but they haven't been what they were against BC, just complete shutdown, absolutely nothing. They've been able to have these really, really good times, and some times where they've given up maybe a little more than ideal. They're able to get some picks tonight, which I was glad, as I think that was something that was missing from last week. Again, only holds Saskatchewan to just 21 points, so better game defensively from that aspect. But we cannot understate how good and how important special teams is, as every time there is a transition of possession, the Bombers are getting they're not getting the short end of the stick. Whoever they're playing against is getting the short end of the stick. So I've been very, very pleased with them in that regard. Saskatchewan would then take a procedure penalty. They're forced to punt. Bombers are pushed a little bit, and then Wolotarski to the sidelines after getting roughed up a little bit on the play. He would come back a little bit earlier. He would come back later in this game. So overall, not too bad. It's good to see that it's not too bad. Goes back and forth a little bit, and honestly, that would wrap up the half. And it would be an important halftime for the Bombers. Wolotarski would come back, but more importantly, Winnipeg Blue Bombers legend running back Charles Roberts with the Ring of Honor induction. Here's a clip of that.
And your name being the 16th name.
Another name going into the Bombers Ring of Honor up there, and it's funny because last year they had kind of filled it out with Pavlovsky, but then you can tell that before the start of the season they had actually taken the names and kind of shrunk them down and compacted them all to one side so they can then start adding more. As, man, with all the guys on the Bombers right now, And guys, like, there's going to be a lot of guys on this Bomber squad that's going to find their way up there. Guys like Zach Collaros, guys like Adam Bighill, guys like Willie Jefferson. Those three for sure. Oliveira will probably get up there. Can't imagine Andrew Harris isn't up there. Justin Medlock might even end up there. Sergio Castillo, if he sticks around, he might be there. Like, there's so many guys in this Bomber squad that could end up there as long as they spend enough time with the team. And so that Ring of Honor going to get a little crowded one of these days. But just was nice to see that, as we're talking about a guy who ran for over 10,000 yards. I believe he received for over 3,000, 69 touchdowns rushing, and I want to say 13 touchdowns receiving. This is all from memory, by the way. This is from when I was looking into it a little bit earlier. So I believe that's accurate. So correct me if I'm wrong. My apologies. Third quarter then. Let's get into the second half of this game. Saskatchewan takes a holding penalty off of kickoff. And then I'm not going to lie, Saskatchewan really pushes and comes out hot as there is a massive pass for Keon Schaefer-Baker. Shake and bake, gets it done. And unfortunately, Saskatchewan grabs himself a touchdown.
Pass complete. Harris to Emelis.
Touchdown Riders, conversion is good. 17-13, Saskatchewan in the lead for the first time in this game. Bombers drive the field. Some good completions for Ontario Wilson and Kenny Lawler. And then Sergio Castillo coming in clutch again. Well, I shouldn't say clutch again. This is a very simple kick. 35-yard field goal, 17-16 Saskatchewan. But just being that consistency that Winnipeg needs, in the sense of that even if they're not able to get the ball all the way down for that touchdown, if they're able to get in half decent range, Sergio Castillo, he's going to hit that almost every time. So just being able to consistently get those points on the board, that's exactly what I want. And so it goes back and forth a little bit, and then Sheehan forced a punt. And man, I'm not going to lie, Sheehan was really struggling on these punts tonight. Was not able to get the height, was not able to get the distance. The location was okay. His accuracy wasn't the worst, but you really want to get those downfield a bit further. So there's some people saying that Sheehan's terrible. I don't think he's terrible. He went from, I'm not going to lie, last year I didn't think he was very good. I thought he was kind of a bad punter. I'm going to be honest. This year, I've seen he's just been streaky. He'll have games like last game. Honestly, Sheehan, fantastic. Seriously, last game he was incredible. So I think this year is a big improvement for Sheehan, despite games like these where he has a little bit of struggle. If he can get that consistency down, I can see this guy staying at a starting spot somewhere. It's just that consistency. So I'm hoping that just takes, more time and more practice in order to really kind of establish that rhythm. But overall, I don't believe in being a little too hard on the guy. At the end of the day, if we're having to use him a lot as a punter, it means that we're making other errors. So, so your punter making mistakes isn't really the worst thing in the world. But I'd say that's probably maybe the only kind of weak spot on that special teams, but it is what it is. Again, yeah, we're just back and forth a little bit, just kind of a little bit dull for kind of this middle portion, as Saskatchewan then punts and goes through the end zone. They grab a single, making this 18-16 for Saskatchewan. In terms of the Bombers, I don't care that we gave up the single. We were down by 1, so now we're down by 2. Field goal beats it no matter what, so it really does not matter. And then Strevler goes for a pass in short yardage. Now, there's so much I want to talk about with this play, okay? First of all, Strevler goes for a pass on 2nd and 1. I like this. I think, now, you should not do this every time. I don't like doing this on 3rd down. But on 2nd down, when you have that opportunity, give it a shot. Give it a shot here and there. And see where you can get with it. Now, Corey Mace challenges us for offensive PI. It's not, and it doesn't go his way. However, the big thing here, Miles Brown, the exact same guy that took a cheap shot at Zach Collaros last game, ends up injuring Strevler here. Now, I say ends up injuring Strevler here, as I'm not going to lie, my instinctual response is, fuck you. I am so mad at you. Like, I hate you. I cannot. Seriously? 2 quarterbacks, 2 weeks. This is my initial response. I have had some time to sit with this. I have not been able to see a video of it. I've been able to gather opinions from a wider variety of people. A lot of Bomber fans, a lot of Saskatchewan fans, and a lot of people who are seeing the game at home. They got the television. They got all the different angles. I was in the building, and I was far away. So in the sense of, I see my one clip, just my live eyesight of it, and I really don't get a chance to see. So I see, I think one replay, I see, they show him hitting Strevler right in the knees. And when I see this, I'm like, yeah, that looks bad. At this point, I'm thinking like suspension easily. This guy didn't learn from the fine. However, I'm not going to lie. From some photos I've seen, from things I've heard, from people I've talked to, it appears that this is a little bit different than that one last game. As last game, he hits Caleros by multiple business days late, straight in the head. He tried to say it was unintentional. I'm not going to lie. Last week's hit was 100% avoidable. So it's either... last week's hit in Labor Day either boils down to it was intentional or he's dumb and careless. It's one of the two. The one this week, I hear he gets tripped, and that he then kind of falls forward, hits Strevler in the knees. Okay, I can understand that a little bit more. I will say it is real convenient at being the exact same guy. And again, I'm not playing conspiracy theory. I'm not. But I'm just saying that just crazy luck. I did get a chance to take a look at Brady Oliveira's words that he said on it, in which he kind of said that he understands, because I want to make this clear. Every Bomber fan initial reaction of fuck you, completely warranted based off last week. I totally get it. And I think every other team would be the exact same in that response. But after looking at it, after seeing it, I shouldn't say looking at it, because again, I have not seen that clip again. But after everything I've heard, after guys like Oliveira coming out and saying that he didn't think it was intentional, it was more just kind of unfortunate. Is it roughing the passer? It absolutely is. However, which kind of like, I don't know. This kind of brings up a bit of a question. When it comes to fines, when it comes to suspensions, should these only happen if stuff is intentional? Should it or should it not? That's the question. Because I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest. I think intentional should always be fined, always should be suspended. However, when it comes to accidental or incidental contact, at the end of the day, if that is what it is, what is the guy supposed to do? But also at the same time, how many times can you accidentally just keep injuring guys? And it's actually, I see someone just uploaded this onto the subreddit. This is the hit on Strevler. Okay. Let me see here. So when arguing these like that, I'm looking into this. This is just on the CFL subreddit. This was posted 2 hours ago. I just got a notification now from U_Skippy2893. I really don't know how I feel about this hit. I really don't. Because first off, it sucks that Strevler gets injured here. It really does. And I was very mad when I was at the game. I was furious. But when I take a look at the highlights, or whatever, and if I see that this looks anything intentional, suspension. Definitely. I think it would also be, now, proposition, because it's one of those things, even if it's not intentional, does that mean that then there's no responsibility at all? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. I need to take more of a look into it. I want to know your thoughts down below. If you had an opportunity to see it again, maybe you had a really good view of it from the stadium, maybe on the side. Maybe you had a really good view from it at home and they were showing you all the different camera angles. I want to know your guys' opinion because instinctively, obviously I was pissed and probably many of you were pissed. But I really don't know, based on everything I've heard from Bomber players, from Bomber fans, from Rider fans, all this and that. I really, really, really don't know. But anyways, 2 straight games of him injuring quarterbacks just sucks. And I will say, the one last week was absolutely warranted that fine. I'm not going to lie. Still think he should have gotten a 1-game suspension for that. It is what it is. But with that, Terry Wilson goes in for short yardage. And with that, it is the end of the 3rd quarter. We're going into the 4th quarter. The Bombers get going down, and they grab themselves a touchdown for Kenny Lawler. Touchdown, Kenny Lawler. Conversion is good. 23-18 for Winnipeg. Saskatchewan starts their next drive. They get going. They start pushing. And then I'm like, come on, defense. Stop the passing game. We got to get a stop on that. And we're able to hold them off, force some incompletions. Brett Lothar goes in, hits a 35-yard field goal, making this 23-21 for the Bombers. Getting close in. Drew Wolotarski back in the lineup and is already shaken up once again. So hopefully, whatever it is, he's not out long term, or he's not, like, ideally he's ready for next game, but just gets kind of roughed up a few times in this game. It's a little unfortunate. Is what it is. Goes back and forth a little bit. Bombers on defense, and Willie Jefferson with the sack.
Get up!
Jefferson with the sack. The Bombers drive the field. Brady Oliveira pushing that ball down the field. Sergio Castillo goes in, hits the field goal, makes it 26-21 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. For some reason, I don't have the length of that field goal written down, but it is 39 yards. Just check that now. 39-yard field goal for Sergio Castillo. Keeps just being absolute money at that kicking position. It is the last drive for the Riders. The Riders pushing it down the field. They keep going. They keep going. They keep going. And then at that point, Terrell Ford comes in, says, "No, you fucking don't," gets a pick to end this game.
Cut that off!
Terrell Ford, with his 9th and 10th interceptions of the season, gets it done and closes out this game for Winnipeg. And now, Winnipeg Blue Bombers head coach, Mike O'Shea, with 103 franchise wins, now leads the Bombers in all-time wins as a head coach. And so, congratulations to Coach O'Shea on that. And at the end of the day, 2 straight wins against Saskatchewan. BC gets a win earlier in this weekend in a big game against Montreal. And now with Winnipeg beating Saskatchewan, none of that matters as Bombers retain first in the West. Saskatchewan still in 3rd. Now, I think 7 straight games without a win. I'm going to check the Bombers' Instagram because they posted about it. So, as that was actually the title for this video. When you're winless in 7... And so that was, I decided that would be good for the thumbnail of this video. We'll give that a like, won't we? This team is capable. This team is capable. The amount of time, early in the season, we were like 0-5, 0-6, whatever the hell it was. Or we were 0-5, I think, because I think we got a loss somewhere in a lot of those wins that we were streaking back into the win column. The amount of people that said the reign is over and that Winnipeg does not own this West anymore and that someone new will take over, which maybe they do. Who knows? We don't know till playoffs. But this team, this team can still get it done. They have it in them. They do. Absolutely do. When you go against a guy like, when you go against the BC Lions, when you go against Nathan Rourke, you leave Rourke with absolutely nothing, with an embarrassing game in his first game back to the CFL after spending time in the National Football League. coming down, forcing him to an embarrassing game. BC puts up no points in Winnipeg and then puts up hardly any points, 3 straight quarters of nothing. This team can get it done. They can. Two straight weeks against Saskatchewan. Found crazy. Like, it's one of those things where Saskatchewan right now, that Milt Stegall quote that he used for the Edmonton Elks early in the season, where he said, "You are not improving. You are finding different ways to lose." I can't think of a more perfect description of the current Saskatchewan Roughriders in the situation that they're in, where they're having all these close games, but they're not winning them. They're not winning any of them. And so that is their problem. Corey Mace, man, he had that team on quite a heater to start, but it has started slipping. But at the end of the day, as much as I love seeing Saskatchewan lose, I'm mostly focused on my Bombers. And today they went in, Banjo Bowl, 5th straight year, got themselves the W. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe if you have not already. Also check out Canadian Football Central for league-wide CFL coverage. We post everything on YouTube as well as Spotify. Link to the YouTube channel in the description below. Please check that out. Lots of good stuff there. We'll have a big, long review of this week's football, including the Banjo Bowl with me and Rick on the show there. We normally run like 45 minutes. Last week's review, an hour and a half of Labor Day weekend. Was a crazy weekend. So I hope you guys enjoyed the game. Let me know what you guys thought of the game or anything at all down in the comment section down below. Also letting you guys know, Jet season. We're getting closer. There's some of those preseason games, all that. All Jets news coming up. Zach is doing a fantastic job covering all that stuff. So make sure you guys check out his content. Seriously, we got lots of stuff coming down. He makes sure that every time there is any sort of Jets transaction, Moose transaction, you guys know about it, and you guys got a video on that. As you know what? If you guys can check out the Dallas Stars signed Thomas Karen to an ECHL contract, Jets fan reaction. So if you guys can check that out, absolutely wonderful stuff that he's got putting out. Also got that big video on the trade. Rutger majority to the Pittsburgh Penguins and Braden Yeager coming back here to Winnipeg. So lots of NHL and Jets stuff coming up. Bomber content is going to be continuing, obviously, as this Bombers team continues, and I hope they continue in that win column. So peace, love, and positivity to all you wonderful people at home, and I'll see you guys next time.